Welcome to the STEM Super Scientist series.
Hi, hello, my name is Isa, and today we are going to talk about photosynthesizers. We're going to talk about the ways that different types of plants have adapted in order to fix carbon dioxide, generate their sugars, their ATP, and survive in different environmental conditions. So we know that there are three major types. We have C3 plants, C4 plants, and CAM plants, and they are very different and very unique. And towards the end of the quick overview of these different plants, I will also do a very quick briefing with visuals from plants in my garden or in my yard, and hopefully that kind of gives you a little bit more of an idea as to how these plants uniquely process their energies. So we're going to start with C3 plants, and C3 plants are the most common type. Those are going to be found in your trees, in your household variety plants, typically even in the garden growers, your vegetables, most of them. There are exceptions. And so C3 plants are excellent because they like cool, moist environments. So if you have a controlled garden or a climate that is full of bright indirect light, or it's not so dry and hot, then these plants will do very well in that sort of environment. Definitely having to cover them in the shade during the summer here in San Antonio, even the spring, just because, yes, they get dramatic in the sun. It does not work for them. So the reason being for that is the carbon fixation of these plants uses a 3-carbon molecule, which is why they're called C3 plants. It's called 3-phosphoglycerate, or 3-PGA, okay? And so this is how they produce their sugar, 3-carbon molecule. It is, however, considered a bit wasteful in terms of plant energy storing, because throughout the day they're constantly respirating, and it reduces that photosynthetic efficiency the way that CAM plants or C4 plants might have. They're better adapted to environments where water might not readily be available, or where cool, moist environments are just absent. So we're going to go into the C4 plants, and those enjoy the hot, dry environments. Those are like your sorghums, your sugar canes, your corns. See, there's one of those garden plants that just is a C4 plant because it loves the hot, dry, and sometimes arid soil. So these plants can take in water, and healthily they will not drown, but typically you can leave them without water for longer durations of time and they will still survive, which is very excellent. These are really great in terms of like mass agricultural plant, which is why corn is so valuable here in Texas, because it can withstand such high heat. So they use 4-carbon compounds. So the phosphoglycerate is a 4-carbon instead of the 3, and they have bundle sheath cells located in mesophyll cells. That's where they actually fix their carbon dioxide, and that is where the Calvin cycle takes place. So they have a much higher photosynthetic efficiency than a C3 plant, just because they're able to, one, withstand hot, sunny environments, and two, maintain high concentrations of CO2, and three, their CO2 is able to react with an enzyme that they produce called RuBisCO, which helps them avoid photorespiration in times of the day or in high heat. They're able to kind of just dial back on that. So that way they can store and conserve their energy. So very interesting, very good stuff. And definitely my favorite are the CAM photosynthesizers. So those are called crassulaceous acid metabolizers. So they're adapted to the driest conditions, and those are your succulents. Those are your cacti. Those are your pineapples. Stuff that loves acidic environments, soil that is very dry, where the drainage is just incredibly prominent, like for example in sand. So these plants have evolved unique carbon fixation where they allow themselves to open their stomata and exchange gases at night instead of during the day when it is the hottest period. So open stomata at night and they breathe during the day. Let's see what else. And their stomata during the day are closed, so that way they can absorb water, and maintain it. And their stored CO2 is released at night in order to continue on with the Calvin cycle that they're good at maintaining. So these are much more efficient in the water conservation than C3 and C4 plants. And before we go, I did say I'd do a demonstration, so we'll start with C4 plants. And we're gonna just kind of I'm gonna show y'all just my grass. So is that a Bermuda grass? And Bermuda grass is very good in hot conditions. We hardly water and it's still got a bit of green to it. This is going to be an example of a C4 plant as well. It is a wax begonia, and these can withstand very high heat. They do enjoy water when you can give it to them, but yes, they're very drought resistant. We have our C4 plants, and this is a succulent, and these are, of course, cacti. And these are the best ones when it comes to storing energy as well, even better than C4 plants, I would imagine. And these are our C3s. These are our drama queens. They need water. They need cool, moist environment all the time. So, thank you so much. Bye.
That's a wrap for today's episode of STEM Super Scientist Series. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to hit that subscribe button. Until next time, keep learning, stay curious, and we'll see you in the next STEM Super Scientist episode.